Mm. Hello, sweet pilgrims. Just taking a few moments while we arrive. A few deep breaths. Flaring of our nostrils, lifting of the corners of our lips, welcoming whomever arrives, welcoming whatever arises. Welcoming your questions, welcoming your challenges, welcoming the fruits of your presence. As you arrive this afternoon, we will anchor in with a practice of mantra. This mantra is available to you in the portal. It's at the bottom of your Embark week, the student teacher prayer. It's one of the ways that we consistently call ourselves back to the teachings during this time, which I'll talk about. Same time, same place, every Wednesday, right here, right now, just like this. And coming together with the student teacher prayer and call and response. So as you're arriving, I welcome you to week 1 of this journey, to day 3 of this journey. I welcome you to the way in which that we embark together. I welcome your presence, your community connections, your comments, your telling us who you are and where you're coming from. I welcome your heart, your very sweet heart. I light our candle to remind us of the light within. We are all lamp holders. We come to the student teacher prayer. So again, this is in your portal. We'll take it as call and response. I'm going to unfold it really simply here, and there's a more elaborate description and unfolding for you. I will tell you that the way that I learned this originally was curling up on the floor, listening to all these different musicians singing it, trying to write down the words, with pushing my headset earbud into my ear as far as I could to try to figure out what the word was, and then memorizing it and memorizing it and memorizing it, and then somehow coming across it afterwards. So I'm hoping to make that more easy, easier for all of you. So you'll find that in the portal. This is an invocation that we come together from all corners of the world, from all walks of life, from all religious and non-religious, spiritual and non-spiritual upbringing, from all traumas and tragedies and life experiences. And we come right here. We work together, we play together, we rise together. We do everything we can together in the way that we can together, so that we can see and feel and sense our oneness, how we are all the same, how we are all the same. So we send the breath down and out the body on the exhale. We'll take it and call in response. We inhale to the crown. You can bumble along with me, no problem. Om, Om, Sahana, Sahana, Vavatu, Vavatu, Sahanao, Sahanao, Bhunaktu, Bhunaktu, Saha, Saha, Viryam, Viryam, Karavavahai, Karavavahai, Tejasvi, Tejasvi, Navadhitam, Navadhitam, Astu, Astu, Mavidvisha, Mavidvisha, Vahai, Vahai, Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May there be peace in my heart, the first Shanti. May there be peace in your heart, and may there be peace where our hearts collide, where we bump into each other. May we work together, may we play together, may we champion our experiences and reach our hands out to one another when we fail, fall away, fall short in some way. May we call the heart of the heart back to the path again and again and celebrate the returning. And if we bump into each other in a way where we misunderstand or feel impacted somehow by our humanity in a way that doesn't feel so beautiful, may we remember our vivaksha, our intended meaning, that we're here to love ourselves, others, in the world. Nothing more, nothing less, just that. So teachers, you don't need to teach. Healers, you don't need to heal. We are all lovers here to love. And this is how we do it. So I welcome you today. We will be here for less than an hour, that I promise you. This will be recorded. Everything in Pilgrim from this point forward will be recorded for you, except the early morning sankalpas. Those are not recorded because the technology, we can't manage it. I'm sure next year we'll get it all. You'll get it all. That'll be a boon, something to look forward to next year. This year it will not be recorded. Forgive me for that. We're doing lots of new stuff. Thank you so much, Heather, for your comments and your thoughts on the portal. I've been hearing lots of great feedback about the portal. I'm so grateful. It's you who makes that possible, whether you paid for a registration this year or you are paying forward a registration for someone else. This is huge. This is what this does, because I've got this beautiful woman. Her name's Courtney. And she's the tech back end of everything. She's the beautifying end of everything. She set up the portal. She's done everything for us. I'm going to tell you the whole truth, what's happening inside of me right now. This is weird for me. Like, this is weird because usually the way that I sit here and teach during our weekly calls, it's a very different animal. I usually sort of channel it meditatively. So I think I'm going to have to kind of do it that way and pretend I'm not on video. And then if you don't like what you see, if you don't like what you see, you just close your eyes and pretend it's an audio call, because it's really weird for me to sit this way and to be seen. It's a very vulnerable thing. So, so thank you. I'm so grateful you're here, and we're just going to jump right in. I'm also going to tell you the whole truth. So I am incredibly type A. I'm very pitta, very fiery. And I'm also fiery in a really ridiculous way, like twisted way. This is my outline. I have one of these for every week. These are my outlines, y'all. This is how I do Pilgrim. So, I'm going to be following this along, and I just do a little bubble, and then I go to the next and to the next. So I'll be looking down some. So again, you're just here with me, and then I'm going to open to questions. I just want to set this as the baseline for you as we move forward. This is week 1. This is day 1 through 7. This is Embark. We've done our student teacher prayer. We will always start with the student teacher prayer. We will always end with the Om Purnamidad. We will do that every single week. We do it at the beginning and the end of every asana practice. It's the same. More than anything, what I want for you is to both open your heart and relax into your heart. For you to know that on this journey, everything is all right. ALL_RIGHT. For you to know that myself and our 4 beautiful guides, Nicole Gray, Jessica Glendening, Candace Shooter, and Sybil Nance, are part of our beloved journey. They're part of our beloved lamp holders on this journey. We're all just walking together. As Ram Dass says, we're all just walking each other home. So this week is just about starting the journey, letting it happen gently, naturally. No stress. No stress at all. You're able to always and every Wednesday post your questions on the Q&A. I'll always do a big hot pink post. It'll always look the same, except say which week it is, and I'll post it into the featured pins. I'll pin it as a featured option. If you don't know where that is, just tag me. If you don't know what that means, just email me, and we'll get your questions answered. This week is more logistical than other weeks will be. We're just getting started. Please, all tech questions, send those to me via email. I might just forward them right on to Courtney to get our answer. So if you don't hear right back from me, know you'll hear pretty darn soon. We're doing our best there. The Facebook page is absolutely and entirely for sharing. So too is the time when we come together live. I'm here right now, not so you can see me, quite honestly, because I really prefer you don't. Truth be told. Why? Because I don't want it to be about me. I don't want it to be about, look at that rusty door. Where is she? Or, oh, she's so cute in her pigtails. Or, look at how I can see her ribs. Or, blah, 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 blah. Like, whatever. Oh, her hair's really gray. Or, well, look at those crazy street she has. Like, none of that. Oh, she's so this, that, what. I don't want any of that. This is not about me. None of this is about me. The whole journey has nothing to do with me. That's just a bunch of bunk and phooey at the beginning. It's because sometimes people need to feel like they really have someone to like hold on to. So if I can be your buoy, baby, let me be your buoy. I'll write a song about that. But really it's about the pilgrim journey, and it's about you showing up. I love you, Margie. It's about you showing up, you being here in the ways that you can be here. You showing up for each other. Those comments are here because I want you to be able to be in community with one another. I really don't have an interest in being seen. I want us to see each other. I want you to be seen. Baby, let me be your buoy. That's like a chant for ceremony. Margie will have to work on that for ceremony, for Seven Sisters. Okay. Moving on. We're going to come together. When we come together for these live Q&As, if at all possible, let your tummy be ready. Have a glass of water ready for you. Go potty. Let your spine be upright. Be vertical best you're able. We align as one with the one. That's how this is going to happen. This is how this is going to go. If you don't make it live for some reason, save that email. Maybe create a folder for these emails for pilgrims. Save that email. Why? Because the same links where things go live are the exact same links where you can go back to the recordings, and they'll be in the portal, but just so you know. Whatever makes it easy for you. I cannot stress enough. I cannot tell you enough. The whole reason I stood on any park bench at any time throughout the beginning of this journey to get you here especially if this is your first year, is this is my lifeblood. This is my path. This is what has made, quite honestly, going through a pandemic and being alone most of the time with my partner in and out. I've just been really happy, really peaceful. Grief moves quickly through me. I attribute it entirely to these teachings. We'll be following this lifeblood, this path of yoga where everything resolves into the one. I'm going to keep circling you back to the teachings. Like there are a million things we could turn our attention to that would be useful. This person, this teacher, that meditation, this, that, and I'm going to go, back to Pilgrim, back to Pilgrim, back to Pilgrim. Why? Not because Pilgrim is the lifeblood of all that is good in the world, but because I have come to find that when we dig one hole, we dig for gold versus many potholes. So for these 108 days, it's about the yogic teachings. It's about the ancient Vedic teachings. I'm going to keep bringing you back to that. I'm going to keep bringing you back to reflecting upon yourself. I'm going to keep bringing you back to sharing your own personal experience with the teachings. Nobody's going to get scolded. Nobody's going to get in trouble. But I'm going to keep bringing us back because I know the power of that kind of container. There's nothing wrong here. I'm just going to keep bringing you back. I want you to turn your attention toward the sun. I want you to look at what's going on in me. If you're upset about something, if you're struggling, if you need help, call forth. I'd love to hear your experiences. Say that. No advice. We don't ask for advice. We don't give advice. I don't give advice. Hear me again. I don't give advice. I share the yogic teachings. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give it. I'm not an advisor. I'm a student of these teachings, and I'm going to keep bringing us back to those teachings again and again and again through the 12 touchstones that start out gross, big, body focused, and they get more and more and more and more and more subtle. More like gold dust filling the air, stardust filling the night sky. And that student-teacher prayer brings us together in a collective connection of that at all times. So what is a touchstone? A touchstone was originally a piece of flint to which precious metals were rubbed in order to reveal their brilliance. You are the brilliant one. These touchstones are giving us an opportunity to reveal our very own preciousness, our very own purity, our very own authentic, brilliant nature. So how do you do this? How do I do this journey? Trust in the potential. Number one, trust in the potential that it will change you. Don't believe me when I say it. Hear my words. Trust in the potential that it will change you. That's to say, be open to the possibility. Don't believe a word I say. Let me say that again. Don't believe a word I say. Try on these teachings and let them move through you. You are like a golden colander. Let it all move through you. And that which is yours to look at and receive is that which is your gold. Mine for that gold, that preciousness. Shine that mirror. And if you find that something rubs you the wrong way, feels to the marrow of your being like chalk on a chalkboard, pay close attention because there is nectar in there. The wind is blowing. That's the bathroom behind that orange door, and there's a window behind there, and so we might think that there's ghosts, but it's just the wind. May we remember that we only need enough light to take the next right step. I'll say that again. May we remember that we only need enough light to take the next right step. So if we find that we sort of turn our attention to the next week's teachings and start asking questions or talking about that, I'm going to say, come on back here. We're focusing on today. We're focusing on what we've got today and what we've covered so far. That's what we're going to be focusing our attention on. I'm going to hold the lamp for you. Your guides are going to hold the lamp for you. When you're touched by something, when there's a charge, positive or negative, lean in, breathe, receive. Get curious. Whoa, what was that? Why was that? How was that? Now what? Get curious. Remember that with all of these teachings, with Pilgrim as a whole, there's this little 3-part package I'm going to keep bringing back to you. You can do differently, or you cannot do. You can do, you cannot do, or you can do differently. You choose. Choice, not chore. However you want to do it. Take a little and only take more if you've mastered the littleness that you've found to be nectar for your soul. There's nothing wrong with you. There's no grief too big. There's no struggle too strange. Nothing needs to be obliterated. We need not destroy anything. Everything is welcome here. Nothing needs to be transcended. Everything is all right. ALL_RIGHT. May we remember that the real teacher is not a person or personality. That the real teacher is the teachings itself. You are Devata. You are a Devata, a light seeker. You are a brilliant one. Already, you seek integration and you need not know how. The desire to grow, to move, to shift, to evolve, to expand, it is enough. Anchor yourself in some ritual, in some deep practice. Practice, notice, share on Facebook. Hashtag 108-day pilgrim, hashtag 108-day pilgrim. Why? I don't care. I don't want to be famous, y'all. I want to just disappear into these teachings with you. And you thought I said booby. I didn't say booby. Buoy. I said buoy. Let me be your buoy, baby. But let me be your booby, baby. Let me be the nourishment. Let me be the vehicle through which nourishment comes. I'll be your booby. Right? Right? It's all that. Self-reflection. Caroline, take your time with this. Ask me that question again in a week or so after you've gotten into some of these practices. Carolyn says, I struggle with self-reflection. Do you have specific types of meditation that you would recommend or other practices? Embodiment. Yes, I'll return to that with you. Hashtag 108-day pilgrim allows for us to keep planting seeds of gold for others to join us in the future. Because those of you who walk this path, who are with us now, who say, I feel like I've come home, why would we not want other people to feel this way? To have these tools for community, connection, light in the darkness, not drinking so much, not dumbing down, not numbing out, holding ourselves in our grief and in our loss and in our confusion and in our humanity. That's what it's all about. I want to be so clear, this is not Hinduism. This is not a Hindu teaching. This is not a religious teaching, and it's also not scientific. When people say yoga is a science, not through the lens of the yogic of the Vedas, the most ancient teachings of yoga. There may be crossover where yoga aligns with a particular religious teaching, or yoga aligns with a particular spiritual perspective, or yoga aligns with a psychological model, or yoga aligns with a scientific theory. But yoga is the ultimate truth. Hear me. Come back to me if you're lost. Yoga is the ultimate truth that permeates all practices and perspectives. It cannot be dogmatic because it makes it this and not that. Nothing said in these teachings can conflict or cause conflict with your beliefs. It might cause conflict internally because of your perception of what I'm saying. But then I say, bring that forth, because nothing about yoga can cause conflict. It is where all conflict resolves into oneness. Nothing that we do here is a belief system. It's not a belief. There are no beliefs. Let these teachings pass through your life and your chosen tradition. Take what serves you, devour it, digest it, and let everything else go. There is no room for evil here. There is no room for separation. Keep it simple as possible, as you are able. Hold everything that shows up as sacred. One of the deepest and most potent aspects of the teaching is going to conflict with the way in which that we see the world, the perception of the way the world is, insofar as there is a victim and a perpetrator. In yoga, there is no victim and perpetrator. There is no conflict. There is no one on top and one on the bottom. The teachings start here, every moment, right here in our hearts. So what you do this week is you read everything in your book. You look over the lessons. You take everything up to the second touchstone. Right? Material for Embark. The material, if you've not read it yet, for Embark and your first touchstone is your preparation between now and next week. The best way for you to walk this journey is your way. Period. Perhaps your particular journey is pure asana, is pure meditation, is these teachings, is community. This is all. Use your free birds. I need a rest. A little bird told me I need a rest. You're the little bird. You're the one who needs a rest. You are the rest. You are the little bird. You are the rest of the story. Even the ways in which that your non-practice is touching you, the way you walk through the streets, the way you talk to your children, the way you wake in the morning, the way you rise. Let even all these non-sacred moments be sacred. Sanctify, sanctify, sanctify. My favorite line in that is when my teacher says to me, Devi, which means goddess, which all women are that. Deva, if you are masculine. Mark, if you're here, that means God. A manifestation of God. A manifestation of goddess. Devi, sanctify your bitchiness. What? Make whole all of it. Mulch it. And he'll say, you know what mulch it means? Mulch that shit. Because that shit grows the best flowers. So I want to return now to your questions. Please bring your questions here and now. I'm going to speak to these right here and now. All right, I'm going to go back to the top. Hello to all of you beautiful souls. Margot, you made it. No stress, right? Thank you for your validation, sweet Heather. All your hard work and heart shows. It's been a lot. And it is labor of love. I struggle with self-reflection. So we'll start here with Carolyn's question. Do you have specific types of meditation that you would recommend or other practices? I'm going to keep it true to the Pilgrim teachings. Just keep showing up. Keep it so simple. I don't want to jump ahead because you're going to find that the whole entire 108 days is self-reflection. We call it svadhyaya. It means self-study. If you want something right now, drop into the body. Close your eyes, return your attention to the breath. Play a piece of music. Perhaps you follow along with the music that I share in the early morning meditations. 108 Names of the Goddess by Craig Preuss. Perhaps you choose that song and you just keep bringing your attention back to your breath. Inhale, receive, exhale, let go. Inhale, receive, exhale, let go. Simple, nothing more. I'm not going to offer up a whole bunch of pretty shiny things. I want to stay right here, focused. Your entire life, everything that you're seeking, it's got to move through the temple doors. This is the temple. Your 5 senses are your temple doors. Your eyes, your ears, your skin, your tongue, your nose. When in doubt, drop into the body. When in doubt, drop into the breath in the body. That's what I offer to you. Perfect example. I don't know who this is because it says Facebook user, so I'm just going to leave it as that. I love the anonymity of it. When you believe that there isn't a victim or a villain, you stop wasting time with Western news, which always has a victim and a villain. Nothing wrong here. You don't have to stop wasting your time with Western news. You can keep going back to that Western news all the time. Can you see it through the lens of yoga? Can you use that as sacred practice? If you can't, I say, maybe I'm going to turn my attention to the light. If I keep seeing darkness, 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 that's not working for me. That's not helping me relax here. That's not helping me see oneness. How do I see more oneness? I turn my attention to the light. Sometimes I have to step outside of the world to remember that I am in this world. I am not of this world. I am whole, holy enough as is. And when this deep voice comes forth and speaks of truth, I know in that moment that I am whole, holy enough as is, that beneath mask and hat and history, there is choice, not chore. So make nothing wrong here. Western news isn't wasting time. Eastern practice isn't wasting time. There's nothing wrong here. Nothing wrong here. I'm just saying, how it is it that we find our awareness and we may see, aha, that's a lens through which I don't want to look at the world. I don't choose to see victim, perpetrator, victim, perpetrator, victim, perpetrator. Everything is victim, perpetrator. Democrat, Republican, victim, perpetrator. Christian, non-Christian, victim, perpetrator. Man, woman, victim, perpetrator. Rich, poor, victim, perpetrator. White, black, victim, perpetrator. Bringing it all back to the heart of hearts. How can I relax here? How can I resolve into the one? We are not transcending anything. We're not obliterating anything. And here's what happens for me. I'll tell you the whole truth. What happens for me when I first do this, and it happens all the time with something new all the time. I'm just paying attention, paying attention. What happens for me is this. Great example. Teaching yoga for decades. I have a yoga school. I have a yoga studio at a retreat center. This is what I do for a living. This is my world. This is my everything. All of it. I live in a yogic built house. I decide I want to study with one of my teachers, with this woman, Key, that I've known for years. And I say, I want to study with you. And she says, you got to go through my 200-hour yoga teacher training. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like saying to someone with a PhD, you have to go to my kindergarten because it's the only thing that I teach is this kindergarten. It's like, I've been through kindergartens, lots of them. You want me to go through kindergarten again? So I go back through kindergarten. I go back through yoga teacher training with Key McGraw. The first weekend I'm up there, we start shifting through something like warrior, triangle, warrior. And she starts adjusting me and shifting me. No, put your foot here, do this, shift this with that. All these things that are totally different than what I've been practicing for decades. Totally different. And we get into our afternoon session and we come into our circle, and everyone in our circle knows that I'm like the professional in the group. And I totally crack up and I like fall back out of the circle and I'm like, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like that triangle pose and that warrior pose just turned my whole world upside down. I get into the pose and I'm like, am I doing this pose right? I don't even know anymore. That's how we want it. That's how we want it, beloveds. As if to say that may we keep being in the innocence of it again and again and again, and things are going to reveal and reveal and reveal and reveal and reveal. The minute you hold tightly to a perspective or a way of being that is creating distinctions between this and that, a debate, a conflict, an argument, you've lost the yoga. Do the pose this way, that's not yoga. Yoga has nothing to do with the position. It has everything to do with the energy that's flowing through your whole body. The positions are just suggestions. So you might find an easier way to be in this life and in this body. Caroline, thank you. I think the simple will be key, as complex can be my crutch since I focus on the process too much instead of me, the body. Exactly. Your body is just a vehicle through which this energy is flowing. You keep going back to your breath. The key for you, I'm just sure, is your breath, beloved. Beautiful. Now, right, and nothing wrong here. I'm so grateful for whomever wrote about the victim perpetrator, because I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I still make victims and perpetrators. I still do that. It just happens naturally. Here's another. When making the bracelet, you talked about the 3. Can you explain the 3 we were intertwining as we braided? So I chose 3 because it is essentially Om, which we sometimes think erroneously is Aum. That's a rudimentary way in which to teach Om, They resolve into one. Om. The beginning, Brahma, the seed, the beginning of absolutely everything, the birthing, the gestation, the full life force, Vishnu, the manifestation, the sustenance of all that is, and Shiva, the transformation, the renovation, the essential death of the birth, life, death, birth, life, death, birth, life, death, birth cycle. So it's Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, birth, life, death, birth, life, death, all resolving into the one. Om. That's why 3. Beautiful. Okay. That's it. That's all I'm seeing for questions here. Because, hello, my friend, how did I get you live at this hour? Because this is when we go live every week. That's how. Very good. All right, let's see. So happy you're here. Let's see if there's other questions. Thank you. I love you. Hi, Britt. Mary Shelby. I love it. There you are. Okay, so I'm going to answer a few other questions that came up. Just these 3 questions, 4 questions. Keep your questions coming, and then I'll just check Facebook before we wrap up. What are the guides? They're lamp holders. They like me because there's so many of us. There's more than 300 of us, 380 or something. I'm super grateful for that. I'm super inspired and engaged with all the ways in which that we're showing up. And so my invitation to you is to show up completely and fully and tag me. Don't hesitate to tag one of the guides if you think that they can be of support to you. The key is that we're going to keep bringing you in and back through the yogic teachings. We're going to keep inspiring you through our experiences with the yogic teachings. That's what we're here to do. We're just humans. We're just girls. We're just chickens. We're just showing up here doing our best, showing up best we're able. And so the guides are lamp holders. They're also helping me make sure that nobody gets missed or left out. Sometimes they're like, hey, Britt, this person's been tagging you. And I'm like, where? What happened? Because I see hundreds of tags sometimes in a day. And then if I'm traveling across country, which is going to be happening in this first trimester of our journey together, here we go. But that's not going to happen next year. I promise you that. Like I'm where I'm going to stay. Right? So in that way, I'm just reminding you, reminding us that the guides are here to help keep shining light on the teachings and help bring us all back into the fold again and again. So that's what we're here for, to stay true as we can to one another, to the light, to the teachings, and to our community. That's what the guides are here for. They're not paid positions. These are beautiful, beautiful, holy, sacred, incredible students of the teachings who are here to be part and parcel of service and to share their brilliance with the world. Just like me, I'd teach this if there wasn't a penny to it. In fact, all the pennies that came in from Pilgrim this year are all going right into the retreat center. Your registration just might be building a swimming hole. Your registration might just be building a ceremonial space. I don't know. Might be renovating one of the rooms. I don't know yet, but it's happening. Somebody else asked me, I just look at my face. You can see my face right now. Someone else asked me, where do I get those cards? These beautiful cards that we use every morning in our sessions. Mexico. We had them produced in Mexico. I really, 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 really wanted to have actually a pilgrim package this year. It didn't happen. I want it to be like an advent calendar, 108 days. I'm so excited about it. I know what I want in it. I really, really want it that way, but it just hasn't happened yet. And we've priced these a gazillion times in the US because there's 108 of them, because there's 108 different ones. It's like $70 for the cards just to make them. And for us to be able to get all the design done, it's not even cost effective. You'd be paying $100 and some just to get your 108 cards. And it would just make no sense. So we don't have them yet. If we can get them this year, mid-year, we will. That's what I offer. I'm sorry about that. We just don't have those yet. I want to have a whole beautiful pilgrim's package. Can't always find you on Facebook in the mornings. Can you help? Usually what's happening is we're both showing up at the exact same time. So if you show up at 8 or whatever the time is in your time zone, because this was an 8 a.m. If you show up at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, 9:01, 9:02, and I'm not there, just log out and log back in. I'm making it a point. I got scared by the wind. I'm making it a point for sure to keep on showing up for you in the best way that I'm able, and to let those first 2 minutes or so just be our meditation, our grounding, our settling in, so you're not going to miss anything. So if that happens, you'll have a little time to get jiggy with it and get in with us. Somebody else said, I think the yoga might be too hard for me. What can I do? Oh, here's what I do. When I want yoga less hard or harder than, shorter than, or longer than the pilgrim practices, what I do is A, I practice on my own. B, you can go to a studio class if that's something you want to do. C, you can also join something like Yoga Glow or Gayam. Or I just go to YouTube. There's a million free yoga classes. And I just say 20-minute morning practice, or I say gentle yoga, or yoga for low back pain. I just put that right in YouTube. And then up pops a class, a teacher, a something that I love. And I do that probably 50% of the time. I don't do my own practices, the pilgrim practices throughout the journey. Sometimes I do because I love them. And, they work for my body. But if they don't work for your body in some way, just know that you can do that. You can peel away at any time. All right, so those are the questions that I have here. I don't see any other questions. I don't see any other questions here. I'm going to check Facebook real quick to see if anyone showed up on the... Oh, it's beautifully, beautifully, beautifully present. Okay, what do we got here? Commented on here. All right. I'm going to click on this guy and see if anything. Hank just said, not a question. I just want to say I love reformatting the course content. It seems very user-friendly and easy to navigate. Each year it keeps just getting better. Thank you. That makes my heart sing. Let me hop into email and see if any emails popped in. And I see none. That's it, beloveds. All right. So that's how this will go. That's how these will come to you. That's how these teachings and shares. Thank you, Heather. Maybe the cards can become a cottage business that fits in with your women's artist support projects. Yeah, for nuestros proyectos de impacto. Absolutely. We need annual pilgrim t-shirts with a new design. Maybe, huh? Designed by the women, children who help. Oh, you guys are beautiful. All right, I love you. This is all. We're going to close with our closing mantra. Closing mantra. Again, this is available to you as well in the teachings. This is how we close. This is how we remember that we come from fullness. We exist in fullness. We return to fullness. When we feel empty, guess what that is? It's full. We're full. We're whole, holy enough as is. Fullness, emptiness, spaciousness. We all absolve, resolve into the space. You're going to feel this. You're going to know this as we journey. So we take it together and call and response. We send the breath down and out the body on the exhale. Inhale to the crown. Om, Om, Purnamidap, Purnamidap, Purnat, Purnat, Purnamudachate, Purnamudachate, Purnat. I'm screwing this up, you guys. We're going to do this again. Om Purnamidam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamadeva Shishmate. I'll tell you a story about this real quickly. So my teacher, this lady lived in an ashram for 30 some years. That's why I just relax around this, because he will forget his mantras all the time. And I know he's chanted them tens of thousands of times. All right, we're going to do it again. When I go call and response, my brain goes twanky. So we'll get this. Here we go. Send the breath down and out the body. Inhale to the crown. Om Purnamidam, Om Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnat, Purnamudachate, Purnamudachate, Purnasya, Purnasya, Purnamadhaya, Purnamadhaya, Purnamaveva, Purnamaveva, Shishyate, Shishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Hari Om. Hari Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you. I love you. Beautiful, beautiful day to you. See you on the inside. I'm just right here for you. Om.